heading home back to the island. Interesting, it's 34 miles to the island. I have 39 miles of range. What I'm saying is interesting is that the car is saying I have to stay below 62 miles per hour to make it to the destination, or 63 miles per hour to reach the destination, 34 miles. My question is, in the previous versions it didn't, will the car listen to itself? In other words, I have it in full self-driving mode, and we're going to assume this is what people are going to use, the full self-driving mode, all the time. So you're trying to get home and you have just barely enough to make it. As long as you stay under the 63 miles per hour, you should get there with 1% battery. If I'm driving, I can do that. I can keep the speed under there. Will full self-driving listen to itself? I'm going to put it in chill mode so we can see what would happen. I could divert to Brownsville or to the Supercharger in Harlingen first, but it's a little bit out of the way for both of those. There is a destination charger at the Equine Center in Laguna Heights, or near Laguna Vista. That's free. It's a slow destination type charger, but you know, hit that for 10-15 minutes, you'll get yourself a couple of miles at least. I'm not sure where I'm at. The car is doing the driving. I'm not thinking about it. This road is kind of terrible. A lot of dips and potholes, but you see a lot of this in Texas, in this part of Texas especially. That ride I probably should have canceled. $11 for a 40-minute drive, 34 miles, or 32 miles. Uber used to pay a lot more on those, and it's ridiculous what they're charging. So let's see, we got, as the car's doing the driving, I'm just checking the tips. That's a $2 tip. This person tipped $5.77. That was nice of them. So you do $1 tip on that Uber Eats. Okay. $5 tip. That was from the gentleman I just dropped off. Then a $5 tip. So that was $21. So that paid more than $11. So that was like $16. So okay. So it wasn't too bad. So now the car is recommending that we stay below 61 miles per hour to make our destination. The speed limit is 65. The car is doing 67. So it's not listening to itself. Well, it's now doing 65. So it is slowing down some. 64. My question is, maybe it is still adjusting for that. And what I mean, maybe it knows it can go a little bit faster in some places. It seems like it's slowing down on the downhills. and not going fast on the down, like it's trying to use the regen. I don't know. That's kind of what it felt like. Like it's cheating. We're going to use the, going up this slight incline here. We're going to. But now this would also be an instance where I would like to be able to control the speed. And what I mean is like slow it down to sloth mode. And we know sloth mode will do just the speed limit. But to be able to scroll down a little bit more to get it slower, to get it down to that 61. So that we will feel comfortable in making it. We only have 2.5 miles to go here before we get off the interstate. And most of that is a 60 mile per hour range. So we should be able to make it no problem. I've done it a few times. What I'm also going to do is once we get back, since I am currently at 66,338 miles, I think I'm going to do, since I'll be down to 1% battery, I think I'm going to have the car do a deep battery rebalancing and testing and see what my range is. Just to let you know, full charge range when I first got it was 257 miles. It's a linear. It's not linear. It's a curve as far as what you lose in range. After 66,000 miles, I am down to a 303 mile range on a full charge. I really wish if Tesla would do their range rating based off of 60 or 80,000 miles of driving. Because, if you're buying the car and it's advertised at 80,000 miles of range, having 303 miles of range, and when you first got it, you have 357, you feel good. You're getting better range than what it's advertised for. And then after driving for a year, once you get around to that 80,000 mark or what have you, you're down to 303. You don't feel like you were misled. And I think that's one of the biggest problems people have with EVs is the range and the loss of range over time. A gas-powered vehicle, yeah, you're going to lose some range. Your mileage is not going to be as good, but you can do a tune-up. New spark plugs, a few things you can do to actually increase your miles per gallon. And you can also see when the headlights hit the windshield here, how dirty it's gotten just from the little bit of driving I did on the island with the salt water mist being blown everywhere. Like I say, it's recommending, stay below 60 miles per hour now to reach the destination. The speed limit is 60 miles per hour. And it'd be nice if I could scroll down and tell it to, go slower. Now, if I throw this in Mad Max, will it go a lot higher? I can try that real quick and see what happens. Standard, hurry, Mad Max. Yeah, it's accelerating. So yeah, my question is, does it actually listen to its own recommendation? Is it listening to the car saying, don't go any faster than this? And that is something it needs to do. Because you don't want to get stranded on the side of the road. Now you can look at the chart here and see, when I get to the destination, I should have like a little over 2.6 miles of range left. And it's given us recommendations on how to increase the range. Climate, 4 miles have been used. South winds, okay. Slowing down 5 miles per hour, save you 2.7 miles. So, yeah, listening to their suggestions, you can actually milk more out of the car. If I am personally driving, I can actually get more range than what it thinks. I can get and drive the car at 110% efficiency. In this situation, we need to have that, like in the Sloth Mode, it looking at everything it can do to increase its range. We are in the Sloth Mode. We are in a 60 mile per hour zone. There is no cars in front of us, but the car is doing 58, 59 miles per hour. So my question is it trying to stretch that range? I'm not really sure. It'd be nice if somebody, has like an open track or what have you, where they have a backup, a way to charge their car. For me, I don't have any fallback if I do get stranded. I don't have the time to sit there and do a test like that. But somebody, like out of spec or, dirty Tesla or somebody, maybe they want to try to do that. Let's see what happens. Purposely get your car, 15 miles out of range of a supercharger and see if full self-driving will get you there. In that situation. Push it to the limit. Someplace where you have to drive 55 or 50 miles per hour to make it to the destination. See if full self-driving will handle the battery management or the energy management to get you there and not leave you stranded. Because we're relying on the car. We're relying on FSD to do the driving for us. Once it becomes unsupervised, people are not going to be looking at that. And they don't want range anxiety. So the full self-driving should also be able to handle that there. Not only to get you there safely, but to get you to your destination. And, if it has to go under the speed limit so much, maybe plan a route off the interstate where it can go slower. Take back roads where it can go slower and stretch its speed, stretch its distance. Now, once I get to Los Fresnos on the other side, the speed limit jumps up to 65, 70. Will the car go that fast? Will I make it there? We have 32 minutes. So as we watch the car and see what it does seem to be going under the speed limit. It's doing 53 and a 55. So it feels like it is trying to stretch the distance. It feels like it. Now let's go over the stupid things I've heard. I had one customer tell me that they would love to get a Tesla, but they hear that if you use the radio, you destroy the battery. You lose all your range. It sucks up all the range from the car. Okay, that yellow light, okay. It made it under it while it was still yellow. Now, the car could have gone ahead and braked back there and used the regen braking to help gain a little bit more range. But the question is, the regen braking for a traffic light, does that give you enough range to compensate what it's going to take to start going after the light? You know, if you're in a gas car and you're driving, and you're running low on gas, you much want to coast through. You don't want to come to a stop. You just want to keep going and let the momentum of the car keep going as much as you can to conserve as much gasoline as possible to stretch it. Now, this is a long range, rear wheel driven Model Y. So I don't have two motors, I only have one. So we'll have to say the regen is half. If you have a dual motor, you have two motors that are regenning and giving you more range back on stopping, as opposed to a rear wheel drive regen. I did choose the rear wheel drive Model Y because of the extra range it had. Because I know you're going to lose range pretty rapidly, but it will level out. And what I mean is, my Model 3, I've had that 3.5 years. When I bought it, it had 26,000 miles on it. It had a range of 280 miles on a full charge. After I put 360,000 miles on that car, it currently has a 100% full charge range of 303 miles. Now, it's been 303 miles for the last 140,000 miles. It really hasn't gone down and changed that much. In a 60 mile per hour zone. The car is doing 56. It does feel like, while it's in the sloth mode, that it is trying to stretch its range. Zone. It sees the speed limit. And I have to say, previous software version 13 never saw those signs. It always kept 55 through here. It did not see the 60 and the 65. So it's nice that the 14 seems to be seeing that. And yeah, we're doing 59 miles per hour in a 65. It really does feel like it is trying to stretch that range. Now, it would, like I say, it would be nice to have more of a heavier test on this. So 59 and a 65. 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 59 and a 65 It's telling us we'll have 2% when we get to the hotel. So maybe FSD is paying attention to the car. Maybe FSD is trying to stretch that mileage to make sure we get to the destination. I don't think there was anything in the notes about it doing that. But that is what it should do. Like I say, not only to get us there safely, but to get us there, period, is the key thing. This has been a good day. We've had some good videos, our good footage here. The car avoiding, animals in the road, roadkill. Some weird parking things, I believe, if I recall. So yeah, give us a max and minimal speed. Once we scroll down to Sloth Mode, if we keep scrolling down, let us decrease that max speed. Not just for comfort in bad weather and what have you, but like I said, if I'm doing, a patrol as a security guard in my car, I may want to do 5 or 10 miles per hour. If I am using the full self-driving and I'm kind of maybe a lead car for a bunch of people on a bike race or a foot race, I may want to do only 2 or 3 miles per hour. So it'd be nice to have that little extra control there. And if you scroll up to max mode, then let us keep scrolling up to set the maximum speed there. And I think that'll work nice and smoothly. Not much modification. You're not having to change the way the controls work on the car. You can still use the scroll to change profiles, but once you get to the upper or lower profile, it goes to either increasing or decreasing the speed for the profile. Okay, now we're up to 63 miles per hour. But we're only, 21 minutes away, 14 miles away. So it could be getting to a point where it's comfortable enough that it's gained enough range that it can go faster. And we are set for a charger. Like we have some rain here. looking. I'm not connected to my Starlink dish anymore, so I think it's powered off my Starlink. The back port, which kind of makes sense. It's trying to conserve power. I kind of wish we had an option to turn that port on and off from the front. Would be nice. We're not getting any warnings about not having enough range. It's doing 64 right now. It's still 1 mile under the speed limit. Pretty soon, we're dropping down to 55. in Sloth Mode. But yeah, I mean, you know, if Dirty at Tesla or somebody like that has a time, let's try it. Let's try it in each mode. See if Sloth Mode will get you there. See if Standard, Hurry, or Mad Max, if it will control the speed to make sure you get there. I've already passed the Equine Nature Center back there. They have a free destination chargers there. You just need the adapter for the J1771s, I think it's called. Now, even if I get down to 0% battery, there is still some range you can go on after that. Rumor has it, theory has it. I don't push it. Now, I mean, someone who doesn't drive as much, yeah, you don't have any degradation on your battery. So, but for some reason, someone who drives as much as me, how much that range is really there. About 6 miles. To the charger. Still anticipating 1 mile of rain, or 1% of battery when we get there. If we look at the chart, it's telling us we should have 4.4 miles. So I got plenty of room. A lot in the green, a lot above the line. So it's done good in going further than what it thought it could be. We still have good performance, even all the way down to this low battery level. I am currently at 3%. I still have good performance. The car is not sluggish or anything. So it really does feel like the car is doing what it can to make sure it gets there. It really does feel like it. It would be nice to have someone stress test it and find out for sure. It's 10 o'clock now. And I've been going since 6:37 this morning. I'm tired, but I'm not as tired as I would be if I was actually doing the driving all day. There's still about, I would say 5% of the fleet still on 14.1.4. They need to push out, and they need to get them up to the 14.2.1 at least. There is about close to 60% of the fleet already on the 2025.44 build coming up to the Christmas edition. They are past the current build number of 14.2. So they're not going to see it. What Tesla really needs to do is in the Christmas release, in the 2025.44.3 or 4 or whatever version they want to do it on, they need to throw FSD 14.2.1 on there, or 14.2.2 or 14.3, one version or another. They need to put it out there with the Christmas update. Give everybody a good Christmas present, a really good Christmas present to be happy about. Put it in the Christmas update. That way, that 60% of the fleet, 60% of every Tesla owner that's already ahead and can't roll back will finally get FSD that should be, that they've been waiting for many years. It's been a long time coming. Now, granted, a lot of those people might be older hardware and can't support 14. Like my Model 3, it's still version 12. But everybody else who is newer hardware are able to support it. It'd be nice to have that. And for my Model 3, it'd be nice to have a 14 Lite. Now it's interesting. I'm in Sloth Mode. It thinks it's a 30-mile-per-hour zone, but it's doing 43 here. 44. Of course, I'm behind a truck, so it can be using the truck as a lead. And it's actually going to pass the truck because we're now in a 55. cannot reiterate how safe and how good the car is. And I'm critical about things. I'm always looking for little bitty issues here and there. I'm looking for the problems. I am kind of a negative person. I always try to find the negatives. That's why I point out the swerving. But I also understand it's good that it's doing that. It's trying to avoid what it perceives as a road hazard. And it can't be too sure. It could be a piece of plywood board laying on the road. It not sure what those patches are. So I understand that. It's doing a lot smoother now, a lot more comfortably. Now let's see if I can make it into this parking lot. Still have 5 miles to go. It's not doing anything weird this time, which is good. So I have not taken over. I have not disengaged. The car has been doing everything on its own. Very, very solid. It's been very confident in what it does. Heading towards the destination charger. It's kind of funny. I haven't tried going to the supercharger here, but it's funny how the previous ones, it would not go to the supercharger, it would go to just the destination charger. Right here's what I'm talking about. I would like to park next to my car. It is going to a different spot. I have to disengage and then select. Give us a little map. Please give us a little map showing us where you are planning to park and giving us the option to tap and choose a different spot. That'd be easy to do. Just pop it up, show us not just a little bit over here, but a little better view for us so we can confirm where we want it to park. Okay? And I'm going to actually hit this and back up a little bit more. I want to be a little bit closer. Okay, right here. Now, let me disconnect here. And we're going to look right here. Let's see what my stats is here after 4 days. I have driven 1,657.4 miles. 1,652.5 of those miles all on full self-driving. To give you a little bit more stats here, and I want to make sure it transmits it. So what I do sometimes, I just jump into Sudoku or something real quick to load a game, and that forces the car to send the information out. So I should be able to go here to my safety score, go to the daily breakdown trips. That, and if I look at the trips here, yeah, 10, 12. So yeah, it transmitted the daily there. So if I look at my daily here, today alone I've done 520 miles. Well, done 521 miles, 520 on full self-driving, so technically 100% when rolling up. My monthly average right now for the past 30 days since November, no, it's daily still, sorry. Go back over here. My monthly from October 31st to November 29th, total miles driven 12,893 miles and 12,813 miles on full self-driving and 0.3 on autopilot. So that's the stats there. What I'm going to do here is we need to first plug the car into a destination charger. And I see my other car is quite wet, so it's been raining here. Plugged into a destination charger here, and I'm going to tell it to stop charging here. Okay. So again, we're on the 14.2.1. Under service here, you got down here battery health. Last time I checked the battery health, I was 85%. Does that say how long ago? No. So we're going to start a battery health. And this can take up to 16 hours. Okay, tomorrow's Sunday. I can use the Model 3 if I have to. Battery's lower. Okay, we're going to start the test. So right now we're at 1%, so it's going to discharge the battery. And it's probably not going to take 16 hours. It's probably only going to take about 12, something like that. I can abort it at any time and take over and not let it finish. But it's been a while since I've done this, so we're going to go through and let it really do its testing. Let me check the Starlink back here. That sucks. Something fell in there and broke the USB-C end off of the cable that was on the chargers. I need a new cable. That's why it wasn't on. Okay. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the Starlink cable there. Close that. I think I have a spare somewhere. I'll have to look for it. But anyway, a like and subscribe would be nice. And I'll let you know tomorrow what the battery test comes out to. Thank you. Okay, good morning. It's Sunday, November 30th. We're going on day 5 of the 14.2 builds. 14.2.1 is what we're currently on. I did do a battery test last night at the end of my drive. I showed you that. That's under the service. It completed. I'm at 83% battery health. I've already put 66,368 miles on it. So it's holding up good, as I would expect. It's a curvature. It plateaus out and should level off. I have about 303 miles of range on a full charge. It started with 357. In the past 4 days, we're starting the 5th day now, I've already driven 1,657.4 miles. Full self-driving is 1,652 miles, 0.5 miles. So very little driving I've done. The car has been doing all the driving. It's been pretty much flawless. We've been having fun with grok, trying to find something here. A little bit of rain here. It's going to be getting cold. I'm thinking about just going to my house in Louisiana and checking it. It's been a while. I need to drive through. I still need to make money though, but I hate doing that 22-hour round trip. So maybe I can get some rides on the way, but that would make my trip a little bit longer. And then coming back. So, I'll plan to head out that way and see what rides pop up on the way. Houston's usually kind of crazy, but go through there and then head back. I do hate the late night driving in Tesla, where you can't drive between 11 and 2, or 11 p.m. and 4 p.m. It'd be nice to have unsupervised full self-driving and not that restriction of Tesla insurance, and just kick back and go to sleep and wake up next morning. Yeah, you wake up a couple times in the middle of the night to use the bathroom and plug the car in. Would be your only little drawback, but when you're looking at 2-3 hours of driving, that's still fairly restful for a trip. If it's 2 people, you can take turns plugging in, and you're only there for 10 or 15 minutes. It's pretty quick, the charging. But yeah, right now we have no destination set. I'm just going to engage and see what happens. And wow, that whipped that water off of there, didn't it? It's been raining here. My cable to my Starlink dish got broken. Someone tossed something in a little bitty hole there where it was plugged in, and just broke off the USB end into the outlet, and that kind of makes me mad. I have to order another one. Wait for that to come in. Supervised, got FSD supervised, maybe degraded, poor weather detected. Well, no poor weather yet. Here it is again. Should get on the other side there, but this is mainly the problem. The hotel painting the parking lot the way they are. All those red lines, and they just get a little carried away, and it does make it difficult for the car. It's trying to follow the road line patterns. From that, a nice drive last night. I currently have a video up, a bunch of joking with grok, and I'm going to break these up into smaller videos instead of one huge video. It saves me space and time. It lets me get up there quicker. I do have an hour video that I want to get moving to there. That well, it's where it dodged a total of 220 pounds. Nice thing is, when you get something like this, like roadie, you can sit here and just take a screenshot of the things. You can go over to grok and say, will these fit in my Tesla Model Y 2026? And see what it comes up with. Yes, short answer. Yeah, it's saying it could all fit in there, and it's also telling me how this, you know, put them in the car. Recommended loading. Let's grab this ride here. So it's going to send that to the car. So we're going to go pick up our first person, Danny, driving downtown, make a little bit of money. That is really terrible money, $16.13 to go all the way downtown Brownsville. Those rides used to pay $24, $25. And it's Lyft. They're not going to. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that ride. It's not worth it. Especially when it throws it to me outside of a bonus area before I get to a bonus area. Lyft likes to do that. So yeah, you know, with Uber and Lyft taking so much, these rides just don't pay what they should anymore. And, you know, going back to Louisiana, that yeah, maybe I should have kept that right. I don't know. We're now in a 30% bonus and a 40% bonus. So if I had that 40%, that ride would have paid a little decent. Wait and save, and I'll go ahead and do that. Cafe Karma is a nice little coffee place here. They have what they call a Carmachino, and it's like a Frappuccino where they use ice cream instead. And I'm going to turn off the deliveries on Uber. Now this one here, yeah, it's a wait and save. So usually if it's a wait and save, odds are they're not going to tip. But it's also a short ride on the island. So if they are kind enough to tip, you know, $5, it'll be nice. Now, the transit bus is actually in front of me on the island right now. So, you know, they may cancel the ride and hop on the bus if they see the bus. It's free. They're probably paying close to $7, $8. And, you know, when you look at that, $16 to go all the way downtown Brownsville, 45-minute drive. as opposed to picking up someone up at Black Bear and dropping them off in Laguna Vista, just over the bridge. That paid $11. Yeah. Some people like to say Lyft's a lot better and they make more money on Lyft. I don't really see it. Curbside. See what pops up on the way. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting more picky on my rides. It's a rainy day. Why are you changing to the left lane? Why does it want to? This is weird. This is a navigation issue. I don't know why it wants to change to the middle of the intersection. So I'm having to disengage here. I mean, I did say curbside, but it's going to go in the middle of the road? I don't know. Well, let me end here.